Nataliya Bystra, who is the head of the press service of the State Service for Emergency Situations. Good morning. On the liberated territories of Donetsk and Luhansk regions, the local authorities and units of the State Service for Emergency Situations and also brigades of the communal services continue to affect the measures to restore the life of the population. Over the last week, in close cooperation, almost round the clock, the repair brigades, rescue and pyrotechnical units of the State Emergency Service worked. They continued to restore gas, electricity and water supply in the settlements in the east of Ukraine. In Luhansk region at the moment, the demining and examination of damaged gas pipeline are continuing in order to restore gas supply to Sokolniki, Trokhizbenka and Krakivka, Novoaidar district, where almost 1,500 customers are still without gas supply. Also, the restoration works are begun in the electric station and electric networks in the settlement of Troitsky, Popasna district. However, this will require over 1 week. Repair works continue to restore electricity supply to Valuiske, Stanitsa, Luhanska district. As of today, almost fully the everyday life support systems are restored in Stanitsa Luhanska. The works continue to restore centralized water supply in Popasna. In the Donetsk region, as of today, without electricity, almost 30,000 customers are still without electricity supply. They live in Shakhtarsk, Mariinka, Yasinuvata, Telmanivka, and Novozovsk districts. In particular, 8 settlements in Yasinuvata district don't have electricity at all. Besides, almost 18,000 customers in the city of Avdiivka are still without electricity. Over several days in Artemivsk and Sytlodarsk cities, the teams of energy supply have continued their restoration and repair works. At the same time, over 13,000 customers in more than 6,500 private and high-rise buildings remain without gas. Also, 5 enterprises. As far as water supply is concerned, at the moment, almost 930,000 people are without centralized water supply. So the works continue. However, the situation in some cases becomes more complicated because most of the damaged objects are on the territory controlled by terrorists. As a result of combat action in Donetsk and Luhansk region, apart from the objects of communal ownership, electricity, water, gas, and heat supply were very much damaged, as well as railway infrastructure. In general, 1,582 objects owned by the Ukrainian Railway Service were damaged, and the general amount of the aggregate amount of damage amounts to 800 million hryvnia. At the same time, 736 objects of railway infrastructure have been restored. In the first turn, we restore infrastructure in order to transport passengers. More than 1,500 kilometers of car roads were damaged in Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Also partially destroyed were 33 bridges and roads and aqueducts. 33 bridges totaling 3,000 meters. The damage amounts to 4 million hryvnia. In Luhansk and Donetsk region, as possibility arises, restoration works are continuing. For instance, road checkpoints are being dismantled, and their road signs are being put up, and so on. Pyrotechnical units of the State Emergency Service continue to work every day, and they both in Luhansk and Donetsk region, inspect several hectares of territory every day. Over the last week, the pyrotechnics have examined more than 14 hectares of territories in the east, in particular in Donetsk region, in Slovyansk, Krasny Liman, Mariupol, settlements of the Artemivsk district of the region, Luhansk, Klinova, Midna Ruda, and Seleshe Ilicha. Also territories of Luhansk region in the settlements of Pobeda, Orekhodonetsk, and Oleksiivka, the city of Shastya, settlement Troitsky, Popasna district, and the cities of Kreminna and Lysychansk. On the territory of these settlements, 130 units of explosive objects were confiscated, including 10 artillery projectiles, 27 mortar mines, 12 combat grenades, 16 self-propelled units of ammunition, and 66 other explosive devices and objects. Every day, 2 transit points that were equipped by our service on railway stations in Konstantinivka and Slovyansk, and also to regional headquarters, residents of Donetsk and Luhansk region who individually leave the dangerous territories come to ask for help. Over the weekend, 108 local residents, including 3 preschool-age children, left Donetsk region, and most of those people left territories controlled by the terrorists. Everybody got the help they required, and they were free of charge delivered to the region of their choice. Also given some necessary supplies for temporary living there. In general, starting from the end of January until today, from frontline territories and settlements that were constantly shelled by terrorists in Donetsk and Luhansk region, 13,591 persons were evacuated and also individually left those territories, including 2,282 children and 368 people with limited capacities. As of since the start of the anti-terrorist operation in the east of Ukraine, 780,475 persons were resettled from Luhansk and Donetsk region to other regions of the country, including 136,281 children and 336,095 disabled people and elderly people. At the moment, the number of people who were resettled and provided with dwelling, including those people who were replaced from the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and Sevastopol, at the moment amounts to 800,832 persons, including 140,936 children and 385,713 disabled people and elderly people. Could you be more precise about, you said that the State Emergency Service is not being allowed to the territories temporarily controlled by the militants. Do you conduct any negotiations so that our workers get there? Not quite like this. There's a lot of damage, and many of them are there. We do conduct talks, and repair services and teams work there, And of course, they work only when there's no shelling and firing, when there's a sort of a ceasefire. So every time you have to meet them and to talk in order to get the permit for our teams to go there. Thank you, Natalia, and her next briefing will happen tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much.